Hi guys, welcome back to my live stream. Hope you guys are all doing well. Happy June 19th, day off from the market. I mean, if you're celebrating it, then good for you. That means you should not be watching this video. But if you are watching this video and you're sad about the market being closed, then welcome. Please make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. As usual, ring that notification bell if you want to know whenever my live streams or my videos pop out. And always hit that like button if you want to support my channel. It's absolutely free to do so. And I just want to say a huge thank you to those of you guys that always do that for me. Thank you. All right. So just a couple things I guess I wanted to talk about because I went into this like deep rabbit hole on GameStop. But first, I guess we'll talk about Ethereum, okay? Because ETH, we know that it was already approved. We know that we're getting those spot ETH ETFs, but that all of these different companies just needed more time. Like they just needed more time in order for the spot ETFs to actually be traded. And we've been hearing like different dates. I heard that it was going to be like within the first 2 weeks of July. Yesterday, I saw a bunch of people post on X, and let me see here. I see a post by Radar Hits that says Justin, SEC officially ends investigation into Ethereum and will not pursue charges that ETH is a security. But that's like interesting to me because this is the official like SEC Chicago regional office like division of enforcement letter, it looks like, from June 18, 2024, which was yesterday. And I had already heard I thought that Ethereum, like we already knew that they didn't consider it a security, hence why we heard the approval. So this is just kind of like maybe it's a little bit delayed in my opinion, but I'm like, I thought it was already considered not a security, right? But so far, I guess my understanding is there was an official SEC lawsuit with XRP that went on for like over a year, and then XRP was like taken off the exchanges. I don't know if you guys remember that, but you couldn't trade XRP on like Coinbase or anything like that. They like froze the assets. And then obviously like XRP won, but even though that didn't really do too much for the price, like after it dropped from pre-SEC lawsuit, it never really reached those heights. Like it didn't go back to even like 80 cents, I remember. As always, though, never financial advice on my channel, entertainment purposes only. So I just find that interesting. Like I see like people getting all excited off of that, like this news that they're no longer going to pursue it. But I'm like, okay, they already approved the spot ETH ETFs. It would be really funny if the spot ETH ETFs were approved and then they were like, oh yeah, but you're still a security, so we can't really trade. But anyways, if you look on like Google right now, or just type in when the next like when Ethereum spot ETFs will be traded, you're gonna see Ethereum is on the brink of a significant milestone with the potential approval of its ETF, exchange traded fund by the US Securities and Exchange Commission. Markets analysts predicts that its approval could occur as soon as July 2nd, marking a crucial step forward for Ethereum. This was updated like 2 days ago. I believe this is on Yahoo Finance. So again, we're gonna have to wait like less than 2 weeks to find out more about when we're actually probably going to see Ethereum spot ETFs being traded. However, I'm just curious if that will even be a catalyst at that point. Like, I think it could get Ethereum back up to like at least maybe 3,900, 3,800, but right now we're only at like $3,500 per ETH. I think we could definitely get back up most likely to like 3,800 or so, but I just don't know if the spot ETFs being traded anymore that would even make such a difference to cause it to like fly up to $4,800, which was its old all-time high back in 2021. Because the overall like global crypto market cap is not doing well, and the overall like crypto market is in the middle right now. We're in the middle of like fear and greed. So kind of neutral right now, but it's not so good because it seems like everybody's just pummeling all their money into NVIDIA or possibly GameStop. Hi there, William. Welcome to the stream. Patrick, nice to see ya. Mr. Bagel Show. GME traded up 0.06 to close. Okay, nice. Are you on the German market? Are you on the German market right now? Are you from Germany? If you are, hello. You guys never really let me know. At one point, people were always telling me like where they were from. I don't really see that as often anymore, but I appreciate it for those of you guys that want to share wherever it is that you're from. I'm talking to you guys from California. It's hot today, so excuse me as I do some work while I'm giving a chat to you guys. Oh, so yes, just a couple things. So that was the first thing I want to talk about. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, what your thoughts are, or if you're live right now, let me know in the live chat what you think about it here, like where you think it's headed. Um, I definitely would be quite shocked if it did better than Bitcoin. And when I mean like doing better, I mean like when Bitcoin spot ETFs officially started trading in like January, I believe, it didn't hit the all-time high until like more than 2 months after. So I would be really shocked if Ethereum in this market now, so that it's not the S&P 500, because the S&P 500 is doing way too good in my opinion. But I would be pretty shocked if Ethereum could do anything like on its own and just rise up by like 50% or something, whereas the rest of the market is like completely tanking. Yesterday we did a little bit of a pop up, which is really nice. However, my Uniswap, my XTZ, and anything else I bought on the crypto did not make it. I got everything. Right. By the way, thank you guys for those of you guys that have already subscribed. I'm also live streaming this from Twitch. So if you want to see like higher quality, that's what people are telling me right now, higher quality on Twitch, definitely look down in the description below if you're on YouTube, and you'll find my Twitch link along with all my other platforms. Please go ahead and follow me there. And if you want to see this via Twitch, my I listened to this like an hour ago. I was listening to music. I didn't do my dishes yet, but I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to get those Twitch hours. Well, not really Twitch hours, but I think commission for Twitch monetization or affiliation. I'm pretty sure I already hit my hours, even though it takes time to update. But I need to do like 7 streams for the month. So I'm gonna make sure I get in like a stream per day on Twitch. I might not even do it on YouTube like as often as I do it on Twitch, but I will. I will get those. Get all my streams. Just goes to show, honestly, guys, you could do anything you want. I was chatting with a friend yesterday, and she was asking me like how my all my friends know that I have like literally every single social media platform you could think of. Um, and she was asking me like which one I like the most, and I'm like, honestly, I like all of them. They all have like different perks. But I advise anybody, and I tell this to my close friends too, who are interested for different reasons. I just like doing this because I like, I guess, oversharing random parts of my finance life and whatever's going on in my head or my silly little K-pop dances, wannabe K-pop star. Um, but yeah, I like doing it just to do it. But like, there are friends of mine who like want to expand their business horizons, and have an account for just like purely their business. And I was like, well, you could do that, and you should start early. And I feel like if you guys have like maybe a small business on the side, I don't know, maybe some people sell stickers, some people sell like cat food or dog food, like, or make little clay. I was like, I watched this video recently about this girl and how she started her business. I think she's making like I don't know, at least maybe like $50,000 a month or something crazy like that off like clay stuff, like little clay toys that she makes. It's really cute though. Don't get me wrong, I don't buy them, but it's nice to see like other businesses out there and what people are doing, how they're like making a living. And yeah, you definitely do really well, I think, using social media, right? Because you can have your regular fans of your art or your product, but then you can get a broader audience through social media, right? And then if you're very likable, then people might want to buy your products because they're trying to support you. With that being said, one of these days, I should create like a separate eBay account or like a Etsy account. I actually don't have Etsy, surprisingly, but maybe one day I want to do Etsy, and then I can link it to you guys so you can buy my handmade products if I have time to put that into my schedule. But okay, now we're gonna go down the rabbit hole. Okay, this is like what I really wanted to talk about. You guys know I've just been really obsessed with this Ferrari Kitty GameStop ordeal. It's just really entertaining to me. But I need some plastic. Hold on. Brown chapstick, like using you guys as a leader. It looks like lipstick, but it's just chapstick. I feel like it might look normal, like when I'm doing it on the stream, but it might not be. It's kind of backwards. But yeah, can't fix that. It's like mirrored, so I can't. When you look in a mirror and it's supposed to go this way, it's actually going that way. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, um, yes. Okay. So I've been obsessed with GameStop, and I listened to like a billion videos off of like other YouTubers, Roaring Kitty videos on the news. And like yesterday, I saw this video, and I'm just like, shout out to. I doubt this person would watch my videos because I watch his, and he has way more subscribers than me. Um, but there's this guy named Richard Newton on YouTube. You guys should definitely follow him if you're not already. He's got, like really good videos, completely different from my talks about GameStop. These people actually know what they're talking about. I have no idea what's going on. But anyways, I saw this video pop up because I'm typing in GameStop like every day, right? And on YouTube, there's this video, and he called it E338. It's always been the FTDs. Then I was like, what is FTDs? And I watched this video, and then I went and searched up other videos and looked online. What does FTDs mean? And after about 2 hours, I still have no idea what that has anything really to do with GameStop. But I'm gonna tell you guys like what I kind of feel like I heard in the video, and then my my understanding of it as a person that thought that part, my understanding of what I think he's talking about. But I don't really know what he's talking about. So apparently they're saying like I think this is like he's giving credit to somebody on Reddit. And like I think someone on Reddit made like this entire ginormous Excel sheet about all the events of GameStop and why the stock ran up back in February 24, 2021 into the after hours on no news, and why the stock ran on like November the 3rd of 2021, and then why it ran on January 6th, 2022, which by the way, I wasn't even a part of, so I didn't even know it was running at that time, and why it ran up August 8th, 2022, as some other memorable examples. And then what happened on November 23rd, 2021? Why didn't it keep running? Basically, there's just like all these dates of when like GME ran up. And I guess somebody out there like did deep dive DD on all of this. And they're just saying that like all of this isn't really about the options. Like GameStop isn't running up purely because of the option trades or because of naked short selling or the short interest or whatever dark pools that other people were talking about. I think they're saying that there's something going on here. At least that's my understanding of this video. I'm gonna actually just send you guys the link in here because I'm not gonna be good at explaining it. I'm already feeling like a fail right now. So that's the video link if you want to go there and educate yourself way more because this is just my reaction to the video as somebody who has no idea what's going on. And I'm just buying it because I like the stock, I like the chart, I watch older Roaring Kitty videos, and I think he knows what he's doing. And I think I'm convinced through what he said in the past that GameStop is going to go places. And I'm just going where the money's going, and I'm going to invest in GameStop simply because I know it's a risk, but I also feel like Ryan Cohen being the billionaire and the baddie that he is, in the words of Roaring Kitty. I don't think somebody with that much money, Roaring Kitty or Ryan Cohen as a billionaire, Roaring Kitty as a multi-millionaire, I just don't think that they would waste their time buying shares into a company that they don't think is actually going to go anywhere. And then not even go anywhere, in my opinion, but isn't going to at least 5x from this current price point because they didn't even sell when it was like 3 to 4 times this price point. And very recently, about 2.5 times this current price point of like under $30, like around $25, right? Because we did hit up to 80 after hours, I believe. And well, I didn't see Ryan Cohen or like Roaring Kitty sell. So that's my situation. Okay. But I don't really understand anything else. Okay. Because I'm just hearing all these different things. I'm seeing stuff on Wall Street Bets. I'm seeing things on X and all these threads, and everybody has all these theories. But to be honest, I feel like nobody really knows what's going on. And even though I'm trying to, like, you guys can watch this video, and I feel like it seems like a murder mystery that's being unfolded, and it's like it's I'm buying it. But then at the same time, a part of me is still like, okay, but unless I hear from Roaring Kitty and I see people placing money on to these words that they're saying, I can't really buy it all that much. You know? That's kind of like how I'm taking in everything. But anyways, so in this video, they're talking about FTDs. Now, what are FTDs? So I had to Google it. Apparently, and like in my layman terms, I think failure to deliver FTDs are basically this moment, this thing that happens when you, well, failure to deliver apparently can happen in two ways. When you fail to have the money to go and buy the thing that you were supposed to buy. That's one way of looking at it through the market. And then failure to deliver could also be when you fail to come up with the assets that you were supposed to come up with. So let's say you're selling, right? Let's say you're selling, or you're supposed to get the money, or you got the money, but then now you don't actually have the stocks. That would also be considered FTD, failure to deliver. And basically through this video of a rabbit hole that I saw through like my page on YouTube, I think they're just saying that, like, I guess everything is based off of it, and it's kind of like a timeline. And if you line up everything that happened in GME, you're going to see that a lot of it is due to these FTDs. I guess when people, or these, I don't know if it's like hedge funds or banks. I think it's like when whoever is making the bets in relation to GameStop and in relation to like ETFs, when they fail to deliver, so they don't actually come up with the stock. Let's say maybe they don't have the stock, they are given this time frame. Like I think it's either T plus 3 days or something like that. They're giving this, or maybe like I think up to 6 days or something, but they're given this time frame to come up with it. I don't know what happens when they don't come up with it in the end, but they're given like a couple of days. And I think the reason why this whole FTD thing situation exists, period, is because supposedly it's supposed to help with liquidity, making the market flow in a way that it's supposed to flow. Okay? That's how I see it. I understand it from watching these videos, but maybe I'm getting it wrong. So if you can explain it to me like a 5-year-old, like you're explaining to a 5-year-old, I would love to see you explain how FTDs is related to GameStop. But so far, I don't see any explanation for a 5-year-old. So I'm going to need you guys' help. Okay. But I'm going to try to explain it in the best way I understand it. And that is, I think people right now are also speculating on top of the short interest, on top of the dark pools, on top of the equity swaps, which are also like invisible to the basic retail investor. Okay, we don't get to see those contracts. So right now, on top of all of those three things, people also believe that it could be the failure to delivers, it could be the FTDs that are causing this rise in price and causing, I guess, maybe Roy and Kitty knows about this, I think is also speculation, and hence why there will be more buying, and all those memes maybe mean something, but I have no idea. But another thing I picked up from this video is, I guess, okay, they're saying, why did the stock run on 11/3/2021, 1/6/2022, August 8, 2022? And then later on in this video, they talk about how, like, well, will we have another like rise up possibly August 8, like 2024, right? If we're basing it off of these like dates and FTDs. And then I'm just thinking, okay, I'll like all I could take away as like just like a normal person who didn't study any of this, all I could take away from it is I'm just gonna see what happens on August 8th, right? Like what else am I supposed to do with this information? I'm not gonna believe it 100%, and I'm not gonna not believe it. So I think I'm just at the position of I'll probably hopefully still have GameStop shares. Like unless my sell cover, like my cover calls expire, which they're supposed to expire July 26th. If my cover calls expire July 26th, I'll be happy with it. But if it actually, if GameStop rises, hopefully by June or the beginning of July, to around like $65 or $69, then my $60 sell call options will hit and I'll just get rid of all my GameStop shares at $60, which I'll be totally happy with. No complaints about that. But even if that happens, I think I'm still going to stick around. And by stick around, I mean like I'll watch GameStop and then I'll see if it could drop possibly. And if it drops lower or lowish at a nice support level, I might just want to like hold on to some. By the way, guys, you could do better with the like button. Okay. Takes 1 second. Appreciate it. It's not enough likes in here. So yeah, I'm waiting for August 8 now because I'm curious what might happen. I mean, based off of this video, seems like maybe something could be brewing and maybe something could happen August 8. But then a part of me is also like, all right, if these videos, if these things on, if like people are figuring it out on Reddit, I believe Reddit is filled with regular investors, people like me that have no idea what's going on, and then the pros, people who actually like understand how FTDs work, and OPEX tailwinds, which I also don't understand. Quadruple witching, which is happening on June 21st. People who understand all those things and maybe possibly studied finance. I think there's also like the Wall Street Bets is also filled with people like that. And then it's also filled with people that either work for hedge funds or are the leaders of the hedge funds. That's my own little conspiracy theory. But yeah, like I feel like if you have upvotes, a lot of it on things like that, and they're like, if everyone's expecting something to happen on August 8 and like a run up, then maybe possibly because now it's out there and it's exposed, maybe we won't see a run up. That's also what's going on in my mind. But either way, I'm excited. And I only put 6/22 here because that's the tennis match date, the tennis guy that Roy and Kitty memed at the shareholders meeting, after the shareholders meeting, right? So I'm like, maybe something will happen that day, but that's like this Saturday. And I feel like a lot of you guys are like, nothing's going to happen on Saturday. So maybe it's like June 21st or Saturday-ish. But now I'll put in, I guess, 8. I don't know why I put the 0 in front of it. But now I'm going to keep my focus on August 8th, just in case, just in case something happens on August 8th. Maybe we'll see a run up. Maybe we won't. And then I also saw, hold on, another one. Give me one sec.
Of market capitalization. Yep.
Yeah. Then I try to understand FTDs more, and it just got me honestly more confused. Actually, I guess this part I can kind of understand. It's like there's this video online where this guy's trying to explain similar to lures. I have a good way to understand it, but he's talking about this part I feel like I kind of get. This has nothing to do with GameStop, by the way. There are people out there with theories from like 5 years ago saying that exchange traded funds, so ETFs, are a rocky situation because it's just been so widely adopted by the world that shall we have problems in the future with ETFs, it's really going to come crashing down. And that's one thing. That's like one theory. But then there's other theories talking about like also naked short selling FTDs in relation to ETFs. So I'm kind of saying like certain manipulators there are. I'm not saying who, but it talks about how there's dangers in ETFs and FTDs because let's say let's say you're the person in control. You're in control. You don't have the stuff to deliver by like for the FTDs, right? Like you don't have the stuff to deliver, but then you're given through regulation like a couple of days. Let's say it's like 6 days or 5 days or whatever. And during those 5-6 days, it's kind of like your stealth period. You could do a lot with that, and I think that's the problem that I think people are relating to GameStop. When you are either a market maker and you have access to that information, or maybe you're a hedge fund and you get the notice of like FTD, your failure to deliver, but then you get like a couple of days. Within those days, you can then kind of either short or make moves to then make your position easier for you to give back, right? Because as a for FTEs for failure to deliver, it's either you don't have the money or you don't have the, let's say, underlying stock. So then you're given some time to come up with it. Let's say because you have that leeway and you know how much, let's say, you owe and you need to come up with during that leeway, maybe that's when some shady stuff goes on. That's my understanding of it. Okay, like I don't know how else to explain it, but that's currently my understanding of what the shadiness of FTDs are. And also I do agree with the whole like exchange. I don't like ETFs, by the way. If you watch my like videos since like 2020, you know I don't do ETFs. ETFs are like what I would do if I was bored out of my mind. Like, and I'm there for like a quick swing trade or a day trade. Like I don't like it. I know a lot of my friends have ETFs and that's cool. I feel like people who buy ETFs, it's very natural because it's kind of like society tells you like, hey, if you don't have time to trade, you should still be trading though. But if you don't have time to trade, that's okay. Just put your money into an ETF. Somebody else will manage it for you. Okay. We're gonna put it in this basically it's with the basket of funds, right? And you're being told like, oh well, don't worry, we're not gonna put anything crazy in there. Like we're not gonna put like you can choose what you want. So you're not if you don't want anything related to AMC and GME or meme stocks into your ETF, then you don't get that ETF. It seems very easy. Um, but my problem with ETFs at the beginning of time was like, I'd rather have control of my own money. And I'd rather, like, I feel like you could create your own ETF within your own portfolio just by investing in enough stocks that you choose to invest in instead of going into an ETF where things can change and you didn't actually select those. And then there's, like, let's say there's A, B, C, D, and you like all the A's, you're okay with the B's, but the C still exists and you don't really like the C's. And that's all within the same basket. And to me, I guess that just doesn't make sense because I'm like, why don't you just make your own basket of A's and B's or purely A's of your top favorites? You know, I don't know. That's my thing. But in more academic detail, other people out there can explain to you why they have an issue with ETFs and all the dangers that could possibly come with it. But not dangerous as in like, okay, the economy is going to blow up because of ETFs like tomorrow or even this year. But down the line, there could be more brewing. And I feel like there could be a lot going on within our markets right now, and just like nobody knows, nobody understands it until way later. But as usual, never financial advice on my channel, entertainment purposes only. Oh my god, it's such a cute emoji. Oh my god, why does Twitch have the cutest emojis? Hi there, Nicole on Twitch. I see ya. Thanks for coming in. Okay, all right, I'm limited on time. I have okay. The last thing, so that's GameStop. Or something else. Oh, okay. So I also I'm gonna read you my notes. I was watching the news today. This source, just the NBC. You guys know how I feel about NVIDIA. Okay, I'm like I have friends who invest in NVIDIA. I know people who are investing 100K into it at the all time high. And I have nothing against it. Okay, like I think NVIDIA is gonna make it. Okay, not like mistaken saying I think there's gonna be a pullback by me saying and confusing that with, oh my god, I think NVIDIA is gonna drop like by 90% and never get back up. That's not what I'm saying. But hear me out here, okay? Here's my like actual experience with remembering what happened in 2021, 2022, 2023, up until 2020. My honest opinion, what I've experienced is what you see in the news is generally not what's going to happen. Okay, like all these little predictions that you hear from strategic banks here, investment bank there, I don't know, former CEO of a company over here, somebody who used to work for the SEC, like all these little predictions that you hear in the news, whether it's Bloomberg or CNBC or Fox News, it almost never, it never comes true. true. Like, the contrarian view usually comes through, but they don't really give attention to the contrarian view. And here's what I mean. If you turn on the news for the past 2 weeks, or even just yesterday, you probably heard a lot of experts say to you, like, S&P 500 new all-time highs. We're probably going to hit higher highs. Okay, and this is from 2 days ago. Source CNBC. The S&P 500 year-end targets are all bullish, coming from these guys. Okay, so UBS, BMO, Goldman Sachs, all believe that the S&P 500, which is currently under 5,500 right now, is going to get to 5,600. And then there's Evercore that believes it's going to go to 6,000. So either way, everybody thinks it's going to go to 5,600 or like 6,000, or at least this group, right? And then so that's already like, first off, kind of feeding into the average person, like that's watching the news, that's going to see that and be like, oh my God, I should just like buy into the S&P 500 or like buy ETF or buy into NVIDIA, because right now, by the way, guys, NVIDIA, Apple, and Microsoft make up for apparently around 21% of the entire S&P 500. Okay, that's kind of crazy. That means if NVIDIA and Apple, which and Microsoft right now, all like very high, NVIDIA like raising new highs, what feels like every week. If NVIDIA drops, will put the wildest hit. So that's something that I can't get out of my head. But and then another thing I wanted to talk about is, if you guys think back to, it's not even that long ago, 2021. No, 2020, when the pandemic first like hit America, like it wasn't January, it wasn't February, because at that time we were like, what's happening in China to us? So March of 2020 is when American news was kind of like, oh, something bad is happening here. And that's when the stock market began to crash. And that was like a pretty long one. Like it went on for at least, I think, like March, people were freaking out. April, people were selling their homes, like people were freaking out. That was all like 2020. And then majority of the news made it sound like, okay, we don't know when we're ever going to make a comeback. Okay, when? And then in 2020, we're like, we don't know when we're going to get the vaccination. We don't know when these lockdowns are ever going to end. It was just like flood every day. And then guess what happened? 2021 markets went to all-time high. Crypto went to all-time high. So by that, it's a fact that in 2020 people were freaking out, and the general news was saying to you like, oh my God, it's gonna end. People were like panic selling everything, selling their homes, going crazy. And then 2021 hit, new all-time highs, right? And actually, I did not know a lot of people that actually made a lot of money from 2020 to 2021. And I'm not surprised, because I feel like most of those people watched the news and they were like, oh, we're like screwed, right? Like how else do you look at that? Most people would think that they would naturally be screwed. Every day you look at the news and it's just like, we don't know how long the supply chains are going to have issues for. We don't know how long we're going to have a lockdown. So the news was wrong. Like, the general news, I believe, was wrong in 2020, at least what I saw. And then in 2021, markets popped off. But then when markets popped off in 2021, you started to hear stuff like, everything's going to be good. Okay, Fed's got it under control. I remember in 2021, they were saying something like, everything is, what was that word? Was it temporary? I think they said that it was temporary. Like we're not gonna have like long-term inflation, or everything is just like temporary. Remind me if I forgot that word, but they were saying that something was very temporary, and then they changed it. They changed like the wording of it. And everyone's like, oh my God, now we're all screwed. So anyways, then in 2020, they gave us a lot of fun. 2021 markets actually popped up. 2021 seemed like we were going to get that soft landing, like nothing bad was going to happen, that the Fed has everything taken care of. Okay. Oh my gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Inflation is, it was inflation is something that's what they kept saying. No, it wasn't inflation. But anyway, inflation is something, and then they stopped saying it. And they were like, I'm sorry, that's not correct. I just can't remember. But that one word that they in 2021, things seemed like it was gonna be bullish, but then in 2022, we saw more of like I wouldn't say a massive crash, but obviously Apple dropped. Apple, Tesla, Meta, like, you could have all gotten discounts in 2022, right? So it's kinda like then in 2021, we felt like everything was gonna be fine, but then 2022, markets started okay? But then if you think about it, what? And then in 2022, it was, like, all FUD news again, right? Because markets are crashing, then they're like, "Oh my god, the next year's gonna suck." Like and then I remember, like, hearing in the news, like, I think it was Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. He also said something like, "Oh, we're gonna see." He's still saying that, I think. Like, but he started saying, I think, like at the end of 2022 to 2023, like that we're gonna see like one of the worst of all crashes, and that like basically every like a lot of people, not just him, a lot of people on the news at the time were saying like, "Oh, we're gonna see a worse crash in 2008. Everything's gonna be worse in 2008." Like it's just a lot of fun, starting from 2022 to 2023. But then think about it. 2022, 2023, had you bought those dips when they were feeding you all that FUD, you would be way up. Like, well, depending on what you bought, right? Like, if you did buy the major tech companies, not necessarily Tesla, because Tesla didn't really make it all the way back. But if you bought Apple, if you bought Microsoft, you bought Meta, if you bought NVIDIA, you'd be way, way up in 2024. So basically, what I'm trying to say is now that I'm seeing in 2024 mid-year that this is a type of information we're getting told like, oh my god, we're going to new all like we're just going to keep going to new all-time highs for the S&P 500. That's my signal to be a little bit cautious. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Smash the like button. Let me know what you think. Hi there. Well, Darwin, Steven says the golden ratio. Okay, financial markets, stock market analysis, technical analysis. Use of Fibonacci retracement levels to predict future movements of stock prices. The levels are on ratios derived from Fibonacci sequence. Yeah, okay. I don't do Fibonacci sequence. Maybe I'll learn it someday, but I take everything with a grain of salt. Where if one asset represents a certain portion, another asset represents 1.6 times that portion. Okay. Is it because 1618 is the golden ratio, right? It's like the golden number or something like that. Imagine you have a toy that you want to trade with your friend. You make a promise to give your friend the toy by a certain day, but that day comes, you can't find the toy. That's like FTD. Yes, so that I could kind of understand, but then I feel like the more shady stuff that could be happening behind the scenes that people are explaining, if that is the case, that someone is given like, or a market manipulator is given a time frame. Not saying everybody who gets FTDs, failure to deliver. Not everyone who does it on purpose, but let's say there are a couple bad apples, and let's be real here, in humanity, there's just a couple bad apples there, right? But let's say a couple bad apples are dealing with that, then they can do a lot more and a lot worse than whatever is being talked about. Just because once you it's kind of like a shield. I look at FTDs as like a shield, like, oh, okay, like everything's gonna be fine for a few days. But it's like, why don't we punish? And you can say, you can say, okay, yeah, this is for liquidity purposes, liquidity purposes. Okay, but then why do we have rules after 2008 about the amount of money that has to be at a bank, right? Like you have to have a certain amount of money sitting in a bank vault, right? And the banks have to have a certain amount of money because otherwise we're going to get in deep trouble because the banks will do a lot with the money that is from regular folks. And if they don't take care of it, everything's going to come crashing down and then we're all going to be out of money. So that's why there's these thresholds that they have to have. So if that's possible and you could put that in place, I think they need to have stricter rules with these FTDs. Like, why are we giving them so much time? 6 days is what I heard from like a video from 5 years ago. That's what I guess certain, what they called it, authorized persons, or is it like basically these people that are in control of these FTDs? I think that's really messed up if you can have that many days. Even like 2 days to me seems like a lot because you could be doing way too much. And I feel like, hi there, Pelin, hi there, Mark F. I feel like if we want to create liquidity, there has to be a less shadier way for people to like manipulate it behind the scenes. And if you are given liquidity, and you're technically, why are we even making it sound like nice, like FTDs? Like, no, you should get a strike. If you fail to deliver, you should get a strike. And if you get enough strikes as I don't know, a hedge fund or certain company or whatever, then you're out. You should not be allowed to do what you're doing anymore. Like I don't see why that's I don't know if that's part of the SEC rules, but the fact that that is not even a rule just like blows my mind. if it's not, that is. Anyways, guys, gotta go. Thank you so much for joining me. Smash the like button on your way out. Make sure you are subscribed. Appreciate it. If you like my videos, you enjoy them, and you want to keep them coming, just make sure to subscribe and hit that like button as always. Take care, guys. Thank you, and have a fun day off. I know I don't really like it, but I'm excited for pre-market. So take care and see you soon.